Okay, so sorry about that. I've touched the. You can see I fidget a little bit, and I've touched the button and deleted myself. Yeah. So I was saying that I've been told I'm going to be debanked. I keep saying debanked because of purchasing these things to help me to start up. Because there's no real. I don't have references to work. I'm at an age where if you don't have background, good luck. The system itself is designed for us to earn less as we get older. And with more influx of people, they can just replace us any tick of the clock. They don't care if we're native here or not. And particularly because our racial heritage is a certain set, and anti-whiteism is the regime we're in, the anti-white narrative, and you can see that on Kuna's videos in No White Guilt. But so we're not going to get preferenced. I've been listed with disabilities now, so I have to basically do my own thing right from the get-go from a really bad position, and hopefully I can get assistance. But or not just get assistance, but figure it out with what I've got. And I've already paid for those programs, so I'm going to be doing them and reading, and I'm going to be immersed into them for the next few months while everyone's playing tennis, everyone's out swimming in the beaches and doing whatever. I'm going to be building something so that I can actually get by. And thankfully, I did have that insurance in place. So sometimes some things of insurance is helpful, but you've got to structure it right. So as I learn, I would recommend you go and invest in some of these programs. I've got Laurel Langmeyer and Pat Mesiti, got a few of them. Raymond Darren. There's a few different ones. Let me think. Oh, what's her name? Elspeth Hughes. She's lovely. She's the one who does the Shopify shops. And she's so good. Oh, online, she's fantastic. Very clear, very personable, approachable, and very, very clear about everything, and thorough. Just a great woman. And top examples. But the bank, the Victorian Teachers Credit Union, Bank First, is the third bank. So the other two didn't want me because I had no money, and this one doesn't want me because I'm using my own money. I did approach them when the insurance was about to be put forward and asked them, could I please get a loan and get a home? And they said no, they weren't even going to try because it wasn't, quote, genuine savings, close quote. So because even though I had $240,000 at the time, don't think I've got that amount right now because it's being used for my recovery. They still didn't loan me the money because I didn't have a job, just over broke. I didn't have a job, just over broke, JOB. Since I didn't have that, and they weren't, quote, genuine savings, close quote again, therefore they weren't going to give me a loan to have a home. I asked at Bendigo, they said no, they might give me up to $100,000. I thought, well, what's the point of that? Because I didn't know anything. And I can say that I really didn't know any, and I still don't know a lot. I know I'm not in a good place. I know I don't know anything, and this is part of the problem. Many of us don't know anything, or much, if anything. So I should have applied right there and then. But anyway, I can't do it now. And then, things like I offered someone to assist them in exchange to assist me, and they ridiculed me. It's like I'm in between two worlds here. People who are super, capable and wealthy and don't waste my time type of people. And the opposite is people who are so busy working, so busy fitting into the system that they don't see what opportunities are right in front of their nose. And they want it their way, and they don't want it any other way, and it won't be accepted any other way, which is all bullshit. But so I'm stuck in every, in between every places. But I hope if I start to make something that you'll all be with me, and I'll be with you, and I'll know you, and hopefully we'll all somehow get contact. And you will get contact with me at some point for those people who asked. I'm sorry I haven't been able to put anything public yet, but I want to. You can come to me through the things that I might at some point be presenting up here, so that you can connect with me. It will be through endeavours, most likely, if you're interested to come along and do these endeavours. I've already got you, hopefully you went and connected with Katrina for those patches, that they're our people. And what was the other thing custom flags and the other one. So hopefully you've, should I go and check what it was? Custom flags was the flag one. I haven't shown you that, have I? I better get on it. Yeah, so, Morley Signs, Morley Signworks, yeah, that's who it was, the stickers, yeah, get on that. And, I just sometimes go down to ABC, which is Australian Bullion Company. It's in, I think it's Collins Street, and must be Swanston Street in Melbourne. I just walk in with $100 and get a coin now and again. Sometimes I buy more. They're not $100. They better not be. You can get them for like 55 or 72 is probably the most I've paid. 72.50. That was in an afternoon after it went up. And sometimes it's low in the morning and high in the afternoon. So just watch where silver is on their website. And then when it's sort of not too bad, you can see the pattern of it. Pop in, grab some. Keep that silver with you. Get half ounces and full ounces. And let's do this. Let's start doing stuff for each other. I know we're far from each other, but we can walk, we can catch trains, we can drive. There's nothing stopping us self-determining as a people. And in fact, we have that right and the duty to our own people to do so. And we don't have to be one, we can have other people amongst us, but we can live alongside everybody else. There's nothing stopping us unless we want a territory of our own. But we can still interact. There are ways to do it. And at this point, given the attitude of the banks, I'm more inclined to diversify into having silver and gold, and also maybe have a small amount of money still, of fiat currency rather, just to get along. I don't know. I have to try and work out how to best balance everything out, because I've learnt you can't just have one bank account. You can't just have one thing. There's the that's the red one that goes over. Ooh, I love seeing them. There he is. It's going pretty quick. Bye. It went too quick. That one was quicker. That's the one that travels over Melbourne and goes through the city, and I think it's for those tours. Yeah. So that's the last bit of the other video. I'm really sorry that I pressed something and I realized, it's on 0. Oh no, it's not recording. So this is recovery. So if anyone's fallen down on the ground, there is a way back to life. I've got a couple more other videos to put up. In one of them, I talk about, I went for a walk and I met some homeless women of our people. And one didn't talk to me at all. She was just trying to sort of rest. And the other one, she looked really agitated. I think she might have been taking something, but that's no excuse. It's still not suitable for them to be outside. I mean, right now it's summer, so it's warm enough. But I kind of wonder, like, they've got 700 and something. What do you think they're going to do with 740 a fortnight? I don't think they should give them more, but I think if we paid for if our government, like the administration over us, simply provided a place to live, no money exchange, just provide a place to live that's suitable, where they can lock it and use it and all of this, I think the housing situation would be a lot more fluid for people. They'd be able to go and live somewhere, and I would be able to live somewhere. In Germany, before it was destroyed and made a slave of a certain group, they had a system, and I'm not getting anywhere with it either side. I am white Celtic, Anglo-Celtic, Germanic, Norse. So if you don't like it, don't be on the channel. Because if you don't like it, you're not welcome. Because you either like it or you fuck off. That's my view. So I don't mean to be rude, but if you don't like my race, don't be near me. If you don't like my race, don't take my money, don't touch me, don't come near me, don't pretend to be my friend, because you'll be found out at some point. Anyway, so where was I? About the housing. If the administration over our country, our Commonwealth, our resources, simply built homes, dot them all around the place, doesn't matter where you put them. But if you built all these places and just let us have a place to live, don't worry about giving us so much money. We just need money to live on, food and beverage and whatnot. So water and me, I just need a steak every day or two, 600 gram every day, fatty meat. I'm happy. Sometimes milk maybe in the morning or whatever. But that's it, and water. We could live quite simply. But they have all this bullshit anti-whiteism propaganda nonsense that is against our people to say, oh, cows fart. Come on, everybody farts. Everything that has a digestive system has some exchange there. It's like they're just poisoning us for nothing. And everybody's taking it. They're taking it. Nobody's taking them to the AFP. Report the fuckers. Come on. What's wrong with you? So everybody needs to be doing it. And this is not just our people. Everyone's going to be impacted by it. Once they run over us, the next target is the next organised community-based race. So think about that. I've heard certain things. There's a certain amount of different people. They don't want the amount of people that are around. And our people were very prolific for a long time. That's why we were able to establish so many beautiful places and all the great structures we've done. That was us. That's what everybody else is living off, basically, our carcass, the carcass of our civilization and people. And they're just building monstrosities like that thing I showed you the other morning. Look at that. Isn't that psychiatric? Like, look at the shape of it. It's just so, look at it. There's nothing good about that. And when you walk down there, it's so plain. Like, look, there's nothing about it. There's nothing. Look over here. There's a straight up. It's nothing. There's nothing about these buildings. Nothing. I just don't understand, And you look over there, right? You see beauty, 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 ugly. I mean, that thing there, at some point in the day, that thing shines a sun, reflects back. And this building over here, that one there, shines the sun back in the afternoon. Like, and we worry about global warming. Well, don't put up skyscrapers. It's not our way anyway. It's not part of our culture to have skyscrapers. It's ridiculous, like putting this amount of people living in one spot. Of course there's going to be mental illness and difficulties and poverty and everything else. There's nobody living on the land. They're not raising their own food. They're getting it from somewhere. And in the meantime, they're culling out the cows by feeding them Bovier. I don't know what it's called. Bovier. A poison, basically. Same as what they did with all these toxic infusions, we'll say. Yeah? And people take it. And they pressure other people and coerce others to take it. Anything they can put into you, they'll put into you. Into your body. Our bodies. Anything. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm being apparently debanked. So, it looks like I'm going to have to figure out yet another bank, my fourth one. And just, I don't know, or fight them. And to be honest, I simply want to have gold, silver, and just walk the earth. But the problem with that is I have CPTSD, so walking the earth's not going to help me a lot. And not everywhere is using fiat cash, so military script is not always being used. They're trying to move into digital fully. So Kmart I can't shop at in the city. Some other places I can, but they're slowly getting rid of their people. I mean, what jobs do you think you're getting, idiots? There's only going to be government employment and some other things that are, they have to do. Plumbing and electric, all the trades. The trades are going to stay. All right. But the basic stuff like self-service is all in place now in a lot of places. Not everywhere, but there's going to be some shop jobs still. But the more imports, the more invaders, the more... You know what I find funny? Let me just say this as another side note. Isn't it funny how when you say we're being invaded, they say we're the invaders, but we actually created the Commonwealth where everyone else is benefiting from? Don't you find that a bit strange? So apparently white people are allowed to be... The thing is, even the Aboriginal land is being invaded. Like if it was Aborigine and Aboriginal land, they're also being invaded by copious numbers of foreigners that don't give a shit about them. They only give a shit about themselves, their own peoples. So when they come in, they don't join us. Some of them do. Some do. I'm not going to say they don't all, but some do. And majority will group together against us, no matter what the other one did. No matter what the other one did. But when it's our people, they side with them. So we've got either each other or not. And so I'm just saying, like this woman who was supposedly part Aboriginal, I said, well, I'm just wondering what the other part of you is. And she was part Dutch. And I said, oh, that's lovely. That's where you get your nice eyes from. She didn't have brown eyes. I said, isn't that lovely? That's where you get your lovely eyes from. And she didn't like it. And I said, have you thought of celebrating your Dutch side and finding out your background on that? And she was really upset and acting as if she was victimized and traumatized. But it's actually the opposite. It's not victimized and traumatizing her. It's victimizing and traumatizing us for being white, for having pale skin. And it's not just skin deep either. It's jealousy and envy. Because she wants to white flight and be this other kind. And someone called her out and said, what about your other side? What about your Dutch heritage? Isn't that lovely? Imagine not being, anyway, she was half, or, you know, not even half. I think she was like just a quarter or something like that. Not that it makes any difference, but you're not that anyway. So they're not claiming they're Aborigines, they're claiming they're Aboriginal. It's totally different. Like I said, it's two separate things. One's mixed and one's pure. So it's such a big thing that it's just encompassing everything, and nobody's thinking. They think they're thinking, but they're really not. Yeah, so that's another 20 minutes of your time. I'm hoping that it's not too babbly, but this debanking of people, one side for being broke and have nothing, and the other side for having stuff that you're exercising, you're trying to do something. And just because someone else ripped me off once means everybody's going to do it, or means that I'm doing anything risky, and I'm not. I haven't done anything. There's no investment made except for investment in learning. And this is the thing. They're saying it's not to our risk appetite. Well, I'm not going to the Commonwealth Bank and I'm not going to Westpac, because both of them debanked me when I had nothing. And now I can't go to the Teachers Credit Union. Oh, there's tons of, banks around. Well, which one's going to do the right thing? I don't know. Because unless you play the game their way, which is get into debt early, manage your credit cards a certain way, like there's certain things you have to know and all of this. Well, I don't know any of it, because I thought if I work, things will work out. And I worked and I got shafted hard, back-ended pretty much most of the days of my life by my own people and by nons as well. So all anti-whites, but some of them are white as well. So when you think about that, it is what it is. That's all I can say. And so I don't know. I just think, well, yeah. So I think that's about it for today. I've run my steam. I'll talk about some of the teaching stuff and different things probably another time, but I just want to make sure that I'm starting to speak a bit more and give you things. I don't know, probably be this view for a while. I don't know, but I might get on one day. I don't feel comfortable to do that. It might be on a different channel so that I do it in a professional way, something like that. But I don't want to do these. I want these ones to be meaningful to some degree. And so they're all really ad hoc. Some of them I have to get the flags and stuff and show you and do things like that. But, just sharing, just being alive and being our own people, it's critical and very important to us. And we have to be awake and aware, because, far out, man, we are being crushed from every side. The banks are not our style. That's not what we would do. Like, if someone had no money, we'd all pull together. But these banks don't do that. They don't help you. They've given me loans when I was starting out, but in reality, that's not how we should start. And then they put them to, if you don't pay it, they put them to like Dun & Bradstreet and all of this. And so your name is tarred forever, or for 5 years or 10 years or something. And so they're just like dogs. And every time they do it, there's another mark, there's another mark, there's another mark. Yeah, so if you're not using the credit card the way they want you to use it, which is draw it, pay it, draw it, pay it, draw it, pay it. If you're not quick enough and you don't know what you're doing and you've got no sense about it and you haven't got enough to live on, all of these things are really difficult. But if you don't have credit cards and draw on your credit once and grab like 6 of them at once and use them adequately and all of this, and instead you use your own money through the banks, they consider that negative. So how we think, it's all inverted. I've told you this in a different video. Every way we think as a people is inverted in banking, because banking is an inversion of our culture. Banking is not how we run. We used to have like 14 grand for a house, pay it down, and we just pay it. But now it's $1 million for a house, and you pay it down like a slave, and it's like double rent. It's really expensive. That's because our dollar means nothing. Our dollar is not even, it's not valuable, because we're selling out by allowing these mongrels in our government, at the administration over the country, to constantly drain us and abuse us. Constantly. They don't stop. They don't let up. They're not thinking about us. They don't care if you get shut down because you had no money. They don't care if you didn't know that putting money in the bank and drawing your own money is a negative. Because in our culture, putting money in a bank and drawing your own money is honourable. It's the right way to do things. But it's not the way of the banking system. The banking system, you draw money as debts and it adds for them to make more money. It's backwards. It's totally inverted of our culture. It's total genocide and white erasure of our people, of our values. So you think, if you're participating in banking, you're participating in that. But if you can work it out and you make a shit ton of money, truckloads of money, fine, whatever. But are you helping anybody? Are you building for your people? Are you like the women down in near the river? I didn't know what to do, because I can't just cuddle them and give them everything, but they're just outside. And then there was a man in the doorway, and down near the expensive, beautiful, where the clothes are and all of this, down Collins Street, there was a man sleeping down on the ground next to the window, kind of out of the wind. And there were 2 policemen, peacekeepers, sort of trying to wake him up and get him to move. Because that's what they do. They come and wake them up and get them to move before all the people walk up. So I was in my sedan. I have a sedan still. It's down in the valet parking for now. My money's wasting away until I get help, or not just get help, but until I action everything so that I'm back in some sort of thing, structure or whatever. I'm going to have to put it under my charity. So I have a lot of adjustments to do. So that's fucking hell. Sorry, I don't mean to be so rude, but this is the reality of what's being done to us, because we're complacent and we're not getting out of it. And in Revelation it says, "Come out of her, my people, so you suffer not her plagues." So all this inversion, we don't have to be party to it. Like me, I could have bought a car outright. Everybody's saying, buy a car, buy a new car. But like, mine works. And they're saying, I know it's like it's the old, it's like, when you think of the past, how it's like got a good memory or whatever. It's not that. It's just that if you're really truly environmental, you'll keep your fucking things as long as possible. I don't know who I've offended by swearing, but if you really truly value the environment, you'll keep what you have for as long as you possibly can keep it, and you'll keep it running as well as you can keep it running. You'll have it repaired up, body work done, everything done. You will not throw that thing away. You will keep that thing until that thing is dead. That is true environmental care. because melting it down costs the environment. Making up a new one where the parts have to be refabricated again costs the environment. Making new bits and pieces where it can't be repaired by the owner costs the environment, because you have to then transport it some other way to the repair people who then do all the work for you. Sure, they get the money out of it, but it's not saving the environment at all. Not in any way. They're lying to you. They're lying to all of us. Having an electric vehicle is not saving the environment, and it's also not saving people's work. It's stopping you being able to do the work on it, or your dad, or your grandpa, or your uncle, or your brother, or your son even. But it is literally nothing to do with the environment, because if it was, they wouldn't be using lithium, because lithium's dug out of the ground by kids. Lithium is dug out of the ground and sold back to you. To us. The stuff is dug out of the ground and sold back to us. Electricity. All that electricity stuff, the coal and all that, that's already ours. And the companies skim it off the government. The government lets the retailers sell it, and then they sell it back to us. It's our resource. But everybody wants a chunk of the money on the way through until it gets back to us, because our resources have been taken from us. We don't want retail electricity for our people. We want our resources that we have first rights of the first fruits to. It's ours. So the governing administration should be providing our home, our water, clean water, not with poison in it, and electricity and gas, because gas also comes from our resources. So those four things are home, electricity, water, and gas to cook and heat. Those four things we already possess, and look where I'm staying. I was sleeping in my sedan. This is an indictment on all of the parliament, all of them, every single one of them is genociding against and apartheiding against me and my people. And that's you, friends and family. I'll call you family because all of my people are blood related. I got people with the same last name as me. They are definitely related because there's only one clan. All of them have started from one clan, so yes, they are all related. They are the same of that type. Your family name, right? Oh no, we're not. We don't know them. We're not related. Yes, you are. You are. We are all related. We're all one kind. I'm not talking about humanity as all one kind. I'm talking about our people, our race is all one. We are one people. Indians are one people. Africans, one people. Orientals, one people. Think about that. So all the peoples on this land need to consider that we are a people. We have every right to be here. We have the right to the first fruits of this country, of this land, because we are part of the Commonwealth. We have a right to family. We have a right to our lineages. Get fired up. Upset people who don't want to listen. Well, bad luck. It's time we acknowledged our own. Not foreigners. Not these liars. They're not the Aborigine. They're Aboriginal. They're totally different. They're mixed. Mixed races. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. And the ones that are not even Aborigine, but they're saying they're Aboriginals, you are destroying a people based on the nature of our race, of our birth. And you shouldn't be doing it, because you are causing your own demise, not by me or by my people, but by your own doing. Because once you divide up this country, once you divide it up, when it really gets divided, you're going to Bolshevism type of thing, where people are going to start destroying each other like they're doing in other places. where you see videos where one racial group is killing people of ours. We have to group together. We can't be individuals like this. We're not safe like this at all. If you think you are, good luck to you. I want to see you grow old that way. It's not going to happen. And when they mix us out of existence, they're not going to have the benefits. All those benefits are going to be gone. And I'm not talking about Centrelink benefits. I mean all the benefits of Western kind and Western civilization is going to be gone. You're going to end up in a different kind of, position. A very heavy slavery. It's already got slavery, but it's going to be so much worse because we're not going to be protecting you, them or you, whoever you are. I don't know who's going to watch this, so I do have to sort of, Anyway, so for my people, I speak for my people, okay? Anyone else is welcome to listen, but if you don't like it, just switch off, turn off, go somewhere else. I haven't denigrated anybody. I'm telling the factual thing. Every race has a right to exist. And also, every race has a right to be self-determined, and every people needs a right to be self-determined to do what we need to do to secure our future. Our now and our future. And if we don't do it, it's on our head. It's on our head. If we don't fix it, it's on our head. It's on my head, it's on your head. So we are responsible, and we have to do all the reporting and all the recording and all the, evidencing. We have to do it right. Don't just sit here watching videos, although they are helpful. Watch the video and then action. Action that next person you found out. Action the Melbourne City Council, head of the Melbourne City Council, the councillor. Action. Go to the AFP website, list their name and details, list what they've done and what act they've broken and what UN treaty, Geneva Convention, Hague Convention that they've broken. List it down, write a court paper, take them to court. Do it. Don't leave. And if the more that can verify within that case, the better. Go and look at Locusts and Honey. There's a video called Report. He goes through very clearly. I don't have to tell you. I can grab his video and chuck it on my channel. I'm sure he won't mind. In fact, he probably want people to do that. But you can look this stuff up. There's nothing stopping you. And there's nothing stopping you doing it. Just, we don't do vexatious litigation, so you have to make sure that you really are doing the right, doing the report right. But at the same time, we are responsible to do it. Don't sit around saying I work too much or this too much or that too much, because that's nonsense. Everybody's saying that, and so they're doing nothing about it. And so we're getting crushed. We are being crushed. Totally and utterly crushed. Because nobody's doing anything, or some people, but it's a minority of tiny, small speck of an amount of people. We need to rise and stand up on our feet and do stuff. Do the action. Comment to other people. Show them the patches. Describe it. Be outright about it. You don't have to put down anyone to be outright about your own people. In fact, if you just be outright and honest about your people, other people they recognize that. Because when I said something about this is anti-white apartheid against my people, the only people who were angry about it were white people around me. Okay? The nuns, well, one of them tried to say, are you Aboriginal? Because if you're not Aboriginal, you shouldn't be here. Which is total nonsense, because without me, there's no Aboriginal. Because Aboriginals are not the Aborigine. You see, they don't know that. They don't know that because they don't understand. They don't comprehend. All they see is white man bad. And increasingly white woman bad. The only good woman to them is a woman who's race mixing herself out of existence. Because her lineages are then, bastardized. And so is the Asian bastardized. Because the mixed race is they're not going to exist. they're going to end up with, there's more host nations coming up to these toxic people. I won't say anything there, but our people have been the host nation for a long time, and now that we've been diminished to a sufficient low grade and re-educated out of our history, for the most part, the next host is being prepared up for the next leg. And so, and they're already, you can see videos online, they're already in that place. You can find out for yourself. I'm not going to, they're also a fair raced people, but they're not us. They're not Western kind at all. That's about as much clues as I can sort of give. But they're already enslaved in the system. They're already using handprints for buying, and yeah. So the beast is in the breaking of Exodus chapter 20, section 4. Verse 4. Yeah. So look that up. Have a little look-see about that. I'm breaking that law right now, having this video, because we're not supposed to have any likeness of anything else. But I'm hoping you're not taking it as a graven image that you can bow down to, because I'm not to be bowed down to, and neither is the city or any of the things I've shown you today or any other time. This is just something to look at while you're listening. So I really regret that I have to do videos to get to people, because I really don't want to be online at all. All of my life I did not want anything to do with computers, and I've dragged my feet on having a computer at all. And my mobile phones up until now have been the oldest, and the I got one Apple that brand new when it was released one time, and I suffered greatly for that, for paying that. I had to battle to get my phone number back and all of this sort of thing. So I haven't had it. There's not an easy way for us. And more recently, I bought the best that I could find, the top of the range, so that I could do what needs doing and quickly, because I have to cater to my disability. So anything that's slow is just worse for me. So things that are fast are better for me, so that I can get them done. It kind of picks up a little bit of the flack of me being so confused, not more distractible and less focused than I could have been. But I do focus. It's just that if the computer takes so long, I then go and do something else because I'm waiting for the computer, and then I can't come back or I don't come back or whatever. So it's better to have something faster. So I got the top of the range. And that's another thing about mindset, is that I was talking to the guy on the shop on the phone, because they got online, but you can phone them. And I get online and I'm talking to the guy, and I said, look, I need a computer with this and this. He said, well, you'd be wasting your money to get that, and because it's too fast, you'll never use it. And I said, well, for one, in my head, I was thinking, well, who's buying it to start with? But the other thing was, I just turned around and I was just frustrated. And I just said, look, what's the best thing you do have then? And he said, oh, this particular one. And I said, good, I'll take it. And he paused for like a little bit, And he said, well, okay. I said, good, okay, how much is it? And he said, oh, 4,200 or so. He said a certain amount. And I said, yeah, sure, okay, done. I'll take that. He said, okay, well, you have to go online and order it. It's this item. And he's told me what to look up. I looked it up, I pressed it, had it sent to me. Man, did that thing take forever to get here. But anyway, I ordered that, I got it, and then a little bit later I got a second one so I'd have a backup. But now I've gotten so used to using my computer, it's hard to use a second one because it's not set up the same way, because as you go, your computer adjusts to you. and you get all these things in it, and crap, it's not on this one, I forgot, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, so, but, and when people see me, I go and buy a pair of shoes because I'm a very practical. I like Doc Martens. They're not an expensive shoe, I wouldn't say. I mean, they're more than what I thought previously, but now I've seen the extent of cost of shoes, and I'm like, yeah, they're on the lower levels of price. And anyone who pays $40 for a pair of shoes and then complains that they're shit, go buy some Docs. They're $300, but they're a damn good shoe. Still, even though they're made in Vietnam or somewhere. Some of them are still made in the UK, but there again, with all the mixing, we are in the times of Samaritans, so with all the mixing, you actually don't know who's making them. So they might be made in the UK, but they might be made by anyone else. So, I don't know. It's hard to know now, you know. Majority, it's going to be nons. So it's easier to support local and you know who's making things. It's easier to support people, you know, so that's why I'm trying to start to do videos so that I talk with people. And when I find a really good Aussie thing of our people or any other people's is fine as well. I'm not saying I'm not going to. And to talk through and try and get people more active and get not active in activism. I don't mean that. I mean more active just generally in your own people and your own life. And in our community as a people, we need to be up and running and go and do stuff. Like this whole debanking, like what the hell? You know, I thought, well, I don't have money, so they closed it because there was no money in it. All right, fair enough. But having my own money and it's just being closed because they don't have the risk appetite, I haven't done any risk. I'm just learning. And they said, no, we don't. What risk? The money is not going. That's so funny. The money's not. There's no risk. There's literally no risk. Anyway, so, and you can't explain to employees of the bank. It's just, it's difficult. I want to be at a different stage. I think it's time to have another bank maybe anyway, or just not have a bank. And I really lean towards it. I just want gold and not deal with the banks. I don't know how to do that, and I just wish I was smarter or, you know, was capable earlier. But I'll put it this way. I grew up, my first pair of Docs was, when I went and bought the Docs on Friday, which is 2 days ago now, I remembered that as a teenager, I think I was a teenager or a young adult, I went to this place. They had these kind of like a big shopping, you know, where you have a supermarket, that kind of building, not a warehouse, but kind of like that sort of shopping center, like a supermarket. Well, there was one of those type of things, but it was all lined up with tables, and they had items lined up like women's pants, women's tops, women's shoes, women's, you know, whatever. I mean, there was all the clothing items, and men's shoes, men's, you know, there was all these items, you know, put on in sections, and you just went through and you picked up what you would like. So you could have choice between 2 pairs of shoes, 2 pants, 2 tops, you know, there was a limit. It was so many, right? And you got them because you were poor, like you didn't have the money. I don't like saying poor, but you know what I mean. If you don't have it. And so our people had that, where we used to have a whole heap of stuff. You could go in, you could pick all the different things. It was heaps of them. But you had a limit, and you went through all the little rows and back and forward like aisles. And you picked up what you wanted. And then we would go, and my friend and I would go down there, and we would go to the desk and pick them up, and they tick off the amount of things and go, yep, you've got right. But sometimes they would negotiate and let you have 3 because you didn't get one of the other thing. Yeah, that's okay, that's fine, no problem. And so we got to, and they got dispersed out to the community that way. And it was always recorded. It was like you're against your student card, like your Centrelink or student or whatever. So so it went through, recorded, and you went through, and that was, you got a few things, right? So that's how we survived through those years of just, we didn't know what to do. And we came from, halfway welfare and halfway working homes, basically. We were sort of not the top, but not, we were the bottom, almost. We just weren't on the street. That we had rental homes as, teenagers and young adults. And so not knowing anything, when I got into financials, I didn't know jack about anything. So my whole thing is totally, completely messed up right now. It's really, really messed up. So up to now. But one of those times I went to that place, I got a pair of Doc Martens. And they were a black pair of tie-up, lace-up, like similar to this, but shiny. And so I got a pair of those, and they were good, And so recently I was walking around, I'm thinking, man, I've got sneakers. Like, I've got sneakers to wear, because I can't wear high heels because of the spinal injury. And because of the spinal injury, and I'm over, a little bit too overweight, I puff up, and so wearing heels causes more problems. And also, they look good, but they cause problems, and my feet swell up, so they don't look good all the time. And it's not comfortable, and it's painful. So I had sneakers for a long time, sneakers and boots for winter, but and flat slide-on shoes, normal in summer, or to change between boots and those, so that, but in winter I was using the boots. And also, so now I changed over to a few pairs of sneakers, but I was wearing sneakers everywhere with everything, and they're comfortable to walk around. I can get around, but I think the Docs are more suited to, they look a bit more decent, and they're solid. Yeah, so I think some of my walking can be in them to go to places like the law library and stuff. Yeah, so I've got some law work to do. So the nuns that I've told you, they've taken out a tribunal case. It's against, it's a vexatious litigation because it's in the court. I have to get that done before the 19th and in and returned back to me to give to them 3 days before, or 7 days before, I think. So that's going to keep me busy this week. I have to go and pick my old laptop up. I've got my laptop that I bought in 2007, the end of 2007. That's the laptop that's got my information in it, and it's got all my hard drives with it. So I've got to go pick that up from my storage unit because it's got some of the evidence in it. And I have to then also pick up my camera, my microphone, my laptop, and my old mobile phone, which has my SIM card, so I can go ahead and start using my other phone. So that, I'll tie all that together. I've got to do that all before the 20th when the law library shuts, and before the 23rd when my SIM card ends. I want to put money to it. Oh crap, how am I going to do that when my debanked? How do I pay things when I've been debanked? Go down and pay cash and get a voucher? I don't... This is like... it's so ludicrous that it's just like... I don't know. I'm laughing because... when they debank you or they disconnect you from something, you basically got to change everything. Every single item that's related to that gets displaced. And they do it to our people all the time. This is totally and utterly a certain kind of people, and I don't want to say it. I think you know, but it's a particular group of people, and it's not just the politicians and whatnot. It's a type of people. It's not Western kind, but it's a different one. I won't go. I'm not comfortable to go there. But yeah, so yeah, I've got some other topics to talk about, but I think I've held you along for a long time. These are getting a bit long, and I'm sorry. I just waffle on, and hopefully you're getting something from it. But if not, I get it. Nobody wants to hear someone babbling on and yeah. Yeah, so anyway, safe travels. God be with you. Godspeed. And yeah, I don't know how to finish these things, but thank you. Have a good afternoon.